Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about wrestling, which I am actually a really old school wrestling fan, and I've got some gameplay up on the screen right now of WWE 2K16, which I was running on my GTX 980 Ti in 4K and captured everything at 4K 60 FPS, so you guys could watch that if you're curious about the performance, but this is not a formal performance review like I like to do on the channel sometimes, but just so you know, this game can run pretty much at anyone's hardware. I mean, you could see I'm even running this with like 8 times MSAA here, and it's not perfect at that settings at 4K. There were some intermittent frame drops, but if I were to bring down that MSAA down to like 2 times and 4 times, it was not going to be any frame drops, and you do not need 8 times anti-aliasing at 4K. You don't need any anti-aliasing really at 4K, I don't think, at least not on a 27-inch screen. Because I just got in the Acer XB271HK, the 27-inch 4K 60Hz G-Sync IPS monitor. So I've got that set up right now. I've got 3 monitors set up. And I was trying a WWE 2K16 last night, which is really the topic we're talking about, not the monitor. But I'm going to be reviewing the monitor soon, so definitely keep an eye out for that. But wrestling. So I'm an old school wrestling fan. I mean, I grew up watching wrestling. I mean, I was pretty much as hardcore as you could have got as a kid growing up. So if you're relating to this and you're watching this as someone who grew up watching wrestling, then, you know, let me know down in the comments below. I would like to interact with you guys, you old school wrestling fans, especially like, you know, the 80s, that like golden and the Attitude Era as well, like all the way from like Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, those guys, like, you know, like WrestleMania 1, like all the way up through like Stone Cold and The Rock. Like, that was basically my generation of wrestling, and then when I was around like maybe 15 or 16, I started to drift out of it in high school. But before that, in like elementary and junior high, intermediate school, all the way up through 8th grade, I was watching wrestling every single week. I was watching Raw, I was watching WCW, I was watching SmackDown, everything, you know, Superstars, the pay-per-views, all that stuff. Even back then, we even had one of those cable boxes back when you used to use the old analog converter boxes. We used to have one of those black boxes where you'd be able to watch all the pay-per-view for free. At least, well, my dad did. So it wasn't me that broke the laws. It was my dad. Sorry, you could go after him, officer. But yeah, we used to have the black box so we could watch all the pay-per-view, which was like great for me as a kid because we could watch all the pay-per-views. All my Spice and all my friends used to come over, and I guess I had a lot of friends in junior high as a result of it. Maybe as a result, I want to think that they liked me, but I don't know, every pay-per-view I had like a house full of people, and we were just all watching wrestling, and it was amazing because then in the next day in school, all of us hung out, and at lunchtime we all talked about wrestling, and we played wrestling video games. That was one of our favorite things. Like we would, and then we'd act out things as well. We would wrestle ourselves. We'd wrestle outside, you know, and have a lot of fun with it. I even did some early online role-playing wrestling games, text-based RPGs for wrestling. If anyone remembers those, it's like my character I used to play as Sid Vicious or Sid Justice, if you remember him. I used to play that was my primary character that I did really best. And we would role play these wrestling characters kind of in the way that they would do their promotional interviews. If you ever watched wrestling on TV, the way they do their promotional interviews, basically we would sit there and role play out these characters and type out our promotional interviews and talk smack to our opponents that we were having in these matches, which would then be decided by the community based on who talked shit the best. And you guys know me, so you know I can talk some shit. And yes, I was the champion of the league. Oh yes, I was the champion for quite some time. I did have quite the reign as champion of this role-playing league. I am role-playing wrestling master pro, not to brag or anything. Not trying to brag at all. Just nipping that in the bud. But yeah, I'm just an old school wrestling fan, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about it because I was passionate, like the wrestling tapes. I mean, I used to record the matches, record it, and also write down meticulous like match records. I used to keep notebooks of, you know, the Raw matches. Like, okay, first match on Raw this week. What is it? Undertaker versus Chris Jericho. Okay, winner by pinfall, Chris Jericho. Blah, blah, blah. And I would keep records of all this, and I would record the matches, I would record the pay-per-views, and I kept everything, and I don't know why. But then eventually, all this stuff is gone now. I don't know what happened to all my wrestling tapes. I still have some of my old memorabilia. I have, like, you know, pictures and stuff, because I used to go to wrestling events all the time. ECW. 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 ECW was the shit, especially for me, coming from Asbury Park, New Jersey, which, you know, guys, I did that microphone video recently, where I was down at the Asbury Park Boardwalk. That's like my hometown, and ECW was founded in this kind of area, in like the Philadelphia and Pennsylvania and Asbury Park area, and a lot of their early big events were at Convention Hall. I remember I went to Living Dangerously in 1998 and 1999, the first two Living Dangerously events from ECW, and I remember seeing Sabu and Taz at Living Dangerously 99, and they were fighting up through the crowd, and they went right past me and my friend Chris Campanelli. It was absolutely amazing, and they were wrestling past us. It was like I had been to WWF events back when it was actually WWF, and it was nothing in comparison compared to an ECW event. Oh my god, like never did I go to a WWF event and have wrestlers bumping into me where I was actually in fear for my life and my physical body because I was at a wrestling event. And and I remember Sabu, he went up on the second tier and Taz was down below, and he went up to the second tier and he did a swanton bomb front flip off the fucking second tier at Asbury Park Convention Hall through Taz on the fucking wooden table. It was amazing. It was so cool. And this was back when ECW, they would even let fans bring things to the event and turn them in. You'd have to turn them in before you went. They would have like these big garbage pails outside, and people would bring things that they could use during the matches as weapons. I'm not kidding you. People would bring like keyboards and shit like that, and they would bring them, and they would have and then they'd roll them out during the matches, and they'd have like fucking keyboards and be breaking them over each other's heads. It was nuts. It was so violent, not unnecessary, but to a 15-year-old kid, it was like, this is amazing. This is like, oh my god, this is life. I actually wanted to be a wrestler at one point. Seriously, I wanted to be a wrestler. I wanted to finish high school and go to wrestling school, and that's probably even evident in some of my content. Like, look at Angry Fat Guy. There is so much wrestling interview type stuff that's steeped into the way that I deliver my content. You may not know that, but I'm explaining that to you now. There is definitely a lot of influence from wrestling in the way that I implement my character and present myself on the internet, so maybe that gives you a little insight into some of that. And there's also some of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman from Full Metal Jacket as well, so. And that's also where the name Joker comes from, in case you were curious. A lot of people think it's the comic book character. It's actually Full Metal Jacket. True story, bro. Anyway, but, yeah, so WWE 2K16, I've been having a blast playing it all night. I've been playing all the old classic matches that you can play through on there, and they also got a career mode, which I haven't delved into yet because it seemed like the character creation and everything was really robust in the early training when you're coming up through the NXT or the NXT ranks as a young wrestler. So it seems really in depth, which is something I've been looking for because I miss these old school wrestling games. I also miss the EA Fight Night games. I've been wanting one of those so bad on PC because I like these character creation and development games like this, where you get to create a character and bring them along. It's like sports role-playing type thing. It's a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed them. Always enjoyed them since I was a kid, and now as a 31, almost 32-year-old man turning next month, I can still enjoy these games immensely, and they're just a lot of fun. So I wanted to share that with you guys today, and because maybe some people say there's maybe too much negativity sometimes on the channel. I like games too. You who said that, you hurt my feelings. I like games. I like this one. This one's fun. So WWE 2K16. I think I saw it on CD Keys. It was like $30. I picked it up full freight for $50. I didn't even think about it. I was like, whatever. I just want a fun game to play. Like I didn't have anything to play. Like Division. I'm done with Fallout 4. I've had nothing to play. I was like WWE. I was like, yeah. And the graphics look good too, man. Look at the graphics. Even look pretty damn good. Ultimate Warrior. Look at those. Look at that ambient occlusion on those muscles on his back. Look at those deltoids. Oh yeah, you want to get in there, don't you? You just want to get in there like shareware. Alright guys, but I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you for letting me talk to you about my passion for wrestling, and please interact down in the comments below. Make this worth my time. Make it feel like I'm not just talking to no one. I'd like to know if you guys are old school wrestling fans as well, or maybe current school wrestling fans, because I've kicked around the idea of getting back into wrestling, and I've tried, every year I'll kind of go back and I'll watch WrestleMania each year, mostly because I want to see the Undertaker streak, which I was disappointed. I think that came to an end. Yeah, I think that came to an end. But I usually do watch the WrestleManias, but the rest of the characters in WWE, I can't find any of them relatable, and they just seem, I don't know, a little over the top to me, which is kind of silly because obviously when I was a kid the characters are way over the top as well, but I don't know, I found it better back then, especially even back in the 80s, looking at the old school stuff, with Jake the Snake Roberts and Bret Hart and Macho Man, back in the old school Macho Man, the cream of the crop, brother. Oh yeah, going to the Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Once again, thank you for watching. Love you all very much, and I will catch you next time. Alright, see you guys later.
Buzzing about this one for a while.
Here's your winner, The Undertaker.
An amazing contest comes to a close following a decisive pinfall victory.
I'll tell you what, Cole, I could watch those two go at it each and every week. What a match.
And guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a rematch right here on Main Event, even sometime in the very near future.